Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. I want you to know that I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. This is a new year, everybody. It's 2021 and I'm hoping we have a more normal year. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about things that are important to the country, things that are important to the economy, and things that are important to your money. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, the economy, and your money. And there are three things that are extremely important right now that have the potential to impact all three. The first is the very public argument, the very public division, if you will, between the president, the outgoing president of the United States, and the Republican Party. This is a very bizarre situation, everyone, because now open cracks are emerging between the president and the Republican Party. I'll actually show you proof of that right now. And some signs are starting to emerge. By the way, don't blame the messenger. I know that supporters of President Trump are very, very, very strongly it's a very passionate level of support, and that's fine. Honestly, for me, it doesn't matter whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, pro-Biden, anti-Biden. Whenever I say something that is remotely critical of the president, I get accused of being a Democrat. Whenever I say something that is remotely critical of the Democrats, I get accused of being a Republican. So guess what? I don't care. I'm here to give you the news, to give you the truth, wherever it might lead us. There are signs emerging that the president of the United States is losing his influence on the Republican Party. Why do I say this? The $2,000 stimulus checks are dead. That is number one. Number two, the president vetoed the National Defense Authorization Act, and Congress, meaning both the House and the Senate, successfully overrode those vetoes. In other words, the president's veto now means nothing because Congress, meaning the House and the Senate, have voted to override the vetoes. The president wanted Section 230 to be repealed. Guess what? He's not getting support for that. Definitely not getting support for that in the House, led by Democrats, and in the Senate, the way excuse me, the way it was structured was that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell took the $2,000 stimulus check and then combined it with the repeal of Section 230. Give me a moment. So, excuse me, we have a situation. We have a situation where the president wanting a repeal of Section 230. That repeal is not going to happen. The $2,000 stimulus checks are not going to happen. And here's something super interesting. I don't know if our viewers and subscribers know this, but the president wanted an investigation into voter fraud. I don't know if our viewers and subscribers know this, but the president already appointed a voter fraud commission, and the voter fraud commission found no evidence of voter fraud. And so now this request for another commission on voter fraud, it goes where it goes. But there are clear signs that the president is losing his influence on the Republican Party based on the reasons I just told you. And many Republican senators are now starting to, speak and say, hey, we need to recognize the president-elect. But there are some Republican senators, like Republican Senator Josh Hawley, who latest reports suggest is going to be joined by a dozen other senators who will object to the certification of President-elect Biden's formal certification next week on the 6th of January. So there are three things that are super important right now. One is the public divisions within the Republican Party, and these divisions are quite dramatic, everyone, because it's almost like we have President Trump along with Josh Hawley and a dozen other Republican senators on one side, and you have the Senate leadership led by the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and other Republicans on the other side. So that's the first major factor. The second, and this is super important, is what's going to happen next week on the 6th of January. It's a Wednesday. When the Electoral College meets to certify the votes, and I will cover that in more detail in another video. What you can expect as far as the Electoral College certification is concerned next Wednesday. So definitely, you need to know what's going to happen there and what you can expect. So I'll be doing that in a separate video. This video is focused on the fallout within the Republican Party, when it comes to the $2,000 stimulus checks. President Trump and Josh Hawley and a dozen Republican senators on one side, and then on the other hand, we have the we have the other Republican leadership on the other side. So I'm going to focus on that here. Then, like I said, the second aspect is the Electoral College certification process, and the third is as you might have guessed, the control of the United States Senate, which is going to be determined by what happens in Georgia next Tuesday, January 5th. That is going to determine, that is just an unbelievable the consequences. The implications of what will happen next Tuesday in Georgia have significant implications for policy in our country, have significant implications for stimulus, they have significant implications for the balance of power in the United States of America. But right now, we're going to take a look at a rather interesting interview, which actually features one of the supporters of the president, Byron York, who is a big supporter of the president. And before I get to that interview, I'm going to show you a tweet from the president of the United States on your screen right now. Clearly, the president of the United States is very unhappy with the Republican Party. So let's take a look at this. The president said, Republicans should have gotten rid of Section 230 in the defense bill because the president's super unhappy about that. He said they'll never learn. Then the president said, this was yesterday. The president said our Republican Senate just missed the opportunity to get rid of Section 230, which gives unlimited power to big tech companies. President super unhappy, folks. And here you'll see President who's quite happy with Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, who, by the way, championed the cause for the stimulus checks, but interestingly enough is going to object to the Electoral College certification process. Now, I'm actually going to, like I said, highlight this in a little bit more detail. And the president obviously has a very strong opinion about that. But what is likely to happen next Wednesday, despite the objections from Josh Hawley, is that the outcome is going to be, it's not going to change the outcome, but it is going to delay the certification, and it is going to definitely create some doubts about our democracy, create some doubts about the Electoral College process, both nationally and internationally, which is a very dangerous path for us to go down on, because the majority is still going to vote for the Electoral College certification, despite some senators, Josh Hawley and a dozen other Republican senators, questioning and objecting. And each objection they do for each state has to be debated on for 2 hours. Early reports are that they will object to for Pennsylvania, but if they object to 5 other states, there could be 10 hours of debates, and this could delay the certification, the inevitable certification. But let's actually get to the clip I wanted to show you. But first, like I said, this clip features Byron York, who actually wrote a book, and the title of the book is "Obsession Inside the Washington Establishment's Never-Ending War on Trump." And he's a chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner. He's a Fox News contributor. He was interviewed along with a couple of other individuals. And I want us to watch this interview carefully, and I will break it down for you to help you understand. Essentially, it's almost like President Trump and Hawley on one side, and it's almost like we have the Republican Party on the other side. So I'll go ahead and play that interview right now, and we're going to watch it together, and then I'm going to break it down for you. Let's just jump right in.
We have a chance at the end of this painful year and at the beginning of a new one to give Americans reason for hope in 2021. Let's have a vote, pass this bill.
This proposal is a shotgun approach where a rifle makes a lot more sense.
When we have differences of opinion, what we should be doing is debating that bill. All that I am asking is a simple request. Bring the bill to the floor.
I do not object. In fact, I enthusiastically support the measures that Senator Sanders is trying to bring to the floor, and I'd vote for them both if we were given the opportunity.
So $2,000 stimulus checks got stuck in this Congress, but a new Congress starts on Sunday, so could be back as early as sometime next week. Fascinating politics when you have Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley on the same side. With that, let's bring in our panel. Byron York, chief political correspondent of the Washington Examiner, Leslie Marshall, Democratic strategist, and Matthew Continetti, founding editor of the Washington Free Beacon. Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Byron, your thoughts on the state of play in terms of $2,000 stimulus, and could it make a comeback soon?
Well, in addition to that, of course, we just saw Congress override the president's veto, the first time that has ever happened in his presidency. And now it looks like Mitch McConnell is just not going to let this $2,000 thing go forward. There's a big policy argument to be had for it. I think there's a reasonable point that the $600 that was passed in the law just wasn't enough. But there's also a reasonable point that the $2,000 plan is very untargeted. I think the biggest thing we're seeing here is the president's influence and clout are leaking away daily, by the hour. He's not going to be president anymore in 19 days, and all the members of Congress know that, and his threats.
This is a significant statement, everybody, from one of the biggest supporters of the president, Byron York, that the president's influence and clout is leaking away by the hour. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree. I want to know from our viewers and subscribers. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree that the president's influence and clout is actually leaking away by the hour. And this is a comment from Byron York, one of the biggest supporters of the president. Let's get back to this interview.
And his ability to persuade are going down as we speak.
Leslie, your thoughts?
I want to thank Senator Mitch.
Now, keep in mind, Leslie is a Democratic strategist. So this is the Democratic strategist who's speaking now. Let's listen to Leslie's thoughts.
Leader McConnell, for helping Democrats come out and bring out so many Democrats in the state of Georgia. Look, I mean, it's really clear, not just in Georgia, but Americans are looking at Republicans as being those, and not all of them, but Leader McConnell and some Republicans as being the obstacle to their being able to feed their families, pay their rent, pay their mortgage. That's problematic. It's problematic for the American people, first and foremost.
So this is important, folks. What Leslie is saying is Leader McConnell is making it easier for the Democrats, specifically with the Georgia Senate runoff races coming next Tuesday, because he's being seen as the obstacle to the $2,000 stimulus check. So you have a Democratic strategist saying that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, is helping the cause of the Democrats. Let me know whether you agree in the comment section below. Now, by the way, news just came in that the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's house was vandalized, and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's home was also vandalized today. Someone wrote with graffiti outside the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's house, "Where's my money?" That actually happened today. Let's get back to the interview, and let's see what Leslie has to say.
Foremost, it's problematic for the GOP, and unless Mitch McConnell really doesn't want to keep his job and maybe wants to go into retirement, which it's looking like, he's certainly not helping his party, and certainly not when all eyes are on Georgia in that election next Tuesday.
Matthew, $2,000 stimulus checks, go.
Look, McConnell's memoir is called The Long Game, and that's because he's not just looking at the current news cycle or even at one or two special election runoffs that we have next week. I think he's preventing this vote or trying to link it to the other two measures that President Trump supports because he doesn't want to divide his party. And so he's for unity, whereas Trump and Hawley, they're actively dividing the party on the eve of these elections in Georgia, and I think that will hurt the Republicans in the runoff elections in Georgia.
Speaking of Georgia, battleground.
That was a big comment right there. Do you believe that President Trump and Josh Hawley are actively dividing the Republican Party? Let me know in the comment section below. This is quite a fallout, again, as the expert said, on the eve of the Georgia Senate runoff races. Quite incredible.
Around Georgia, here's some of the back and forth.
What happened on November 3rd, I know I'm at church, but it wasn't a miracle. It was the result of hard work. Come January 5th, we are going to seal the deal. When you send me and my brother from another mother, John Ossoff, to the United States Senate.
We're winning right now, and the best example of that is, our best evidence of that is the November race itself. We're going to get our vote out on Tuesday and win this thing because people in Georgia know, Joey, this is the last line of defense against this radical socialist agenda.
Byron, I've been hearing from a lot of nervous Republicans. Your thoughts?
Well, they should be nervous. They have reason to be. The polls, such as they are, show really, really small leads for the Democrats, Ossoff and Warnock, in those two races. What's really kind of fascinating here, the question is, what kind of electorate are we going to have? Is it going to be the same electorate that turned out in Georgia on November 3rd and very, very narrowly chose Joe Biden, or will it revert to the older Georgia, more red electorate? We know that 3 million people have voted now, but at this time, before the general election, about 3.65 million people had voted. So it's a different group of people, and who they are is going to determine the outcome.
Leslie, how do you read that massive early voting turnout?
Well, when you look at, you got to break it down, and quite frankly, not just because I'm a Democrat, just looking at the raw data. If you look at Atlanta and the suburbs around Atlanta, which definitely were votes that went to Biden, are more blue Democrat voters, those numbers are exceeding what we saw in the general election. But in the rural areas that just really came out for President Trump in the general election, we're not seeing those types of numbers or enthusiasm in those areas. So I would say, look, it's very tight, but Republicans definitely have a need to worry. Georgia has changed. The voters have changed. The demographics of Georgia has changed. That's why Joe Biden won it, even though narrowly, and that's why we might have 2 Democrats flipping 2 red Republican seats next Tuesday.
All right, we're running a little tight on time.
Let me know if you, I want to know what my viewers and subscribers think. Do you think that Georgia could go the direction of the Democrats? Do you think the Democrats could win both Senate runoff seats in Georgia? I want to know what my viewers and subscribers think. I think it's highly unlikely that we see one Democrat and one Republican win. I think the probability is very high based on what's happening in the country, based on the battle over the stimulus checks, based on the outcome of the presidential elections in Georgia, which President-elect Joe Biden won Georgia by a narrow margin, but he did win. I think it's very likely that both seats go either towards the Republicans or either towards the Democrats. If both seats go towards the Republicans, we have decisive Republican control in the United States Senate. But if both seats go to the Democrats, we have 50 seats for the Democrats, 50 seats for the Republicans in the United States Senate, with the tiebreaker vote from Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, which would mean that the new Senate Majority Leader would be Chuck Schumer, the Democrat from New York, and not the current Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell from Kentucky. So that is where things stand right now. Let's get back to the end of this segment.
So let's get to winners and losers. Byron, lead us off.
My winner is Dave Portnoy, the co-founder of Barstool Sports, who has so far raised nearly $17 million for small businesses that have been hurt by the pandemic. If only Congress could act with such focus and speed. The loser is Hilaria Baldwin, the wife of the actor Alec Baldwin, who for years has claimed to be Spanish. Only problem is she's not. She's born and raised in Boston, was known as Hillary, and the whole Spanish thing fell apart to their great embarrassment in this last week.
Oops. Leslie, your winners and losers.
Winner, Rear Admiral Margaret Brune-Kibben for being the first female chaplain.
So that was the end of the segment relative to this video, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know whether you think the divisions in the Republican Party that are now forming, which, by the way, I'll explore in a little bit more detail when I take a look at the actions by Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri in the next video, and what to expect in the January 6th Electoral College certification. But the important part is the fallout has begun. Do you sense this as a weakening of the president's influence, or do you sense this as a situation where the Republican Party can survive without President Trump, or do you feel that this could be the beginning of potentially even a third party, if you will? Based on the signs that I'm seeing, it does look like. Let me be clear. I am not going to pass an opinion on this until I see the results of the Georgia Senate runoff races. Because in my opinion, if the Democrats win both Senate runoff seats in Georgia, then I think it's safe to say that the influence of President Trump has declined significantly, because the president would have gotten his veto overridden by Congress, which happened. The president did not get Section 230 repealed, which happened. Well, it did not happen. So therefore, the president didn't get what he wanted. The president did not get the $2,000 stimulus check. That has happened. Well, neither did we, because there are individuals out there who really could have benefited from this $2,000 stimulus check. But if the Senate goes the way of the Democrats, then I think it's safe to say, I think it would be very safe to say that the influence of President Trump, the control of President Trump on the Republican Party is beginning to decline. Let's wait and see what happens, and that is where things stand right now, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Please enable notifications. Please click the like button. I worked hard to put together this content for you. Please click like. I would really appreciate that. And in the next video, we'll go into a little bit more detail about what to expect during the Electoral College certification process next Wednesday, the 6th of January, which is right after the Georgia Senate runoff races. I believe that Republican senators will decide what move to make on Wednesday, depending on what happens on Tuesday. Such is the nature of politics. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that I appreciate you. The Ignition Time channel is like one big party. What I mean to say is we are a strong community. My goal is to bring you the truth wherever it might lead us. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This is some information about me. You learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I invite you to become a part of our community. The Ignition Time channel is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. It doesn't matter to me whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, pro-Biden or anti-Biden. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an American first. We are all Americans first. I want to welcome you to our channel. On the Ignition Time channel, my goal is to educate you about money. So it's raining money. So it's constantly raining money, and we're constantly in a party mode, and we're constantly in a confetti mode, and I want us to be happy. Now, I know that a lot of us are starting to get the $600 stimulus checks, and I know a lot of us are dancing. No, but jokes aside, if you learn something new from this channel, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would greatly appreciate that. Keep in mind that we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. You can get on our SMS alerts list. All I ask you to do is simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list moving forward. Now, you'll get important news, you'll get breaking news, you'll get important alerts, and you can opt out of these alerts at any time. If we release any kind of a training program, you'll be the first to get notified, because these training programs will be extremely limited. You can opt out of the SMSs at any point in time. No concerns about that. You can also get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll become a part of our VIP insider community. Again, by either sending a text message or by going to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. And you can then become a part of our VIP community. And you can opt out of the VIP community by email or by SMS at any point in time that you want. Now, one of the things I'm especially proud about as far as our community is concerned is how bipartisan we are, how intelligent, how respectful we are, and the fact that we engage in healthy debates in our community section. In the comment section below, there's a communities tab on our channel. So definitely comment below and become a part of our growing community. I've already seen many friendships formed in our community, which is amazing to see. Please share this video with 2 friends or family members, just 2 friends or family members. That would mean a lot to me. If you learn something new, please give me a like. Please give me a like. And also, if you're not a member of our community yet, just click subscribe and then enable notifications, and then you'll become a part of our growing community. I have a crystal ball, as you can see, and basically I make predictions about what's likely to happen with the country, with the economy, and with your money. I want you to be happy. Like I said, I want you to be in a party mode. I don't want you to be angry. I don't want you to be upset. I want you to smash the like button, but don't do it in a way that Don't do it in a way that smashes the screen. Join us, become a part of our growing community. As always, you'll find a link in the description section below to all our resources. So this way you can dig deeper into the content that we release. So definitely check out the description section of our video. You can follow us on Instagram. Simply follow us on Instagram at ignition_time. That's our Instagram handle. That's ignition_time. You'll get exclusive news and content from us on Instagram. Now, you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So make sure you follow us on Twitter to get breaking news and alerts. Now, finally, YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. Such is technology. So all I ask you to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel and watch our videos at any point in time that you want. Thank you so much for watching. One last time, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. Bye.